Hey, what's up, guys? Chris Schroeder here with Matt Shirley. Welcome to the Console Masterclass or the Console Kings Masterclass. Glad to have you guys here. Glad you're probably watching the recording as well. This class is going to be a writer downer. Everything in here is going to be a writer downer. You might have to watch this one or two times. There is a lot of very useful information. And I do have to hand it off to Matt. The dude has curated probably the most extensive amount of knowledge that I've seen outside of myself when it comes to systems and processes around phone flipping that I've ever seen in another industry, especially with the amount of detail that Matt goes into with everything that he's about to share with you guys. With that being said, guys, make sure to stick around till the end. We got a pretty massive thing that we've been working on for a long time. Like, I've been trying to get Matt to work to get this rolling for about a year and a half.
True. That's very
So
true.
that it can be an opportunity for a lot of people. Because I knew it would be, and everybody's always asking me about it. So it's with great pleasure that I introduce you guys to Matt Shirley, and I'm going to let you get started, my man.
Cool. 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 Hey, presently, I think we have roughly 28 people on this call. For all of those of you that signed up and are actually attending live in person, first, let me say thank you so much. I know you could be somewhere else doing something else, and you chose to devote some time here to this call. And I don't take that for granted. I honestly don't. I'm a guy who's been married 16 years and has two kids and plenty to do. And so I understand what it's like to take time out of your day or your evening. So, hey, welcome. I'm going to shoot you straight. Do I have something that I'm interested in other people buying? Yes. Am I going to present that to you at some point throughout this presentation? Yes, but it's only because I believe in it so wholeheartedly. And I want you to take ease because I'm not here to pressure you in any kind of way. I just want you to savor this moment, kind of take in what we discuss and what we talk about, and kind of let's go on this conversation together. I'm going to share as much as I liberally can with you on this webinar or this specific virtual event, and to the degree that you could take the information from this conversation and still be profitable. But if we had the opportunity to work together, you can make some crazy money. And without even knowing it initially, I have a student that just in the past year passed 60K within his first year of reselling consoles exclusively. No ads, nothing else, genuinely utilizing the method that we're going to talk about here right now. Okay. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you, Kings, about being a console king. Okay. So, if at any point any of you guys have any questions or something like that, or want to raise your hand or throw something out like that, I always appreciate the chatter. So go ahead and hit me up in the chat. Okay. And we're just going to kind of cruise through this. So, how do we make money reselling consoles? Well, as respective resellers, there's a list of things that every reseller does, and this is what we do: we source it, we buy it, we test it, we clean it, we photograph it, we list it, we sell it, we ship it, and we review it. And these specific 9 things is everything that happens to every item if you've ever sold an item on an online marketplace. Now, I understand there's exceptions when people sell on Facebook and people pick up things locally, but if you ever sold on eBay, Mercari, even Poshmark or other various places, you understand this is the gist. Like, this is it. This is everything we do. Okay. So, as we kind of walk through this, the first thing we're going to talk about is sourcing it. And this is really the bulk of where the knowledge comes in. If you don't know what to buy, if you don't know the right items to buy at the right price, you're not going to be profitable and you're not going to make any money. So I spend a lot of time, attention, and detail talking about this. Okay. Now you could be running ads, and there's ways to do that for free. Okay. That's just kind of a little bit of free stuff about ads. These are some ads that I've created, to actually promote my own business. But today we're going to talk about, in this course that I have available for you, is specifically and uniquely devoted to the reach out method, where you go to them. And we're talking about reaching out to people on local marketplaces: Facebook, OfferUp, Craigslist, Nextdoor app, or the primary ones that I use and have used. And I would say that 80 to 90% of my activity is actually on Facebook Marketplace because that's where the majority of people are. Hence, that's where the majority of deals are. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking like, where should I invest most of my time? Facebook Marketplace. But I guarantee you, so many people sleep on OfferUp and Craigslist, even in your city, that I bet you could find some deals there that other people overlook and forget about. Now, the next thing that would be critical to sourcing the deal would be buying the deal. And with that comes a really shrewd skill set that you need to be able to do this well. You need to be able to assess the value of what you're purchasing. Then you got to negotiate the deal, and then you got to make the purchase. And I would imagine that some of you guys are probably good at all of this, and maybe you're good at specific aspects of this, right? You're really good at the meetup. You're really good at negotiating, or maybe you're just a savage at understanding where the value is. And if that's the case, I really hope so. But assessing the value, in my opinion, is the one most critical and important skill set that any reseller or flipper has. If you're a side hustler who resells things, you know that the money is made when you buy, not when you sell, even though I know we put the money in our bank account, our pockets when we sell. If you know what to buy at the right price, guys, you're always going to be in profit. And so when we talk about buying consoles, I want you to be prepared to buy any one of the following: broken, used, vintage, new, super old school, retro. What's the difference between vintage and retro? Vintage is literally a classic. It's 20 plus years old. If you see a vintage car going down the road, that car is 20 or more years old. If you see something retro, it's not always necessarily old school, like 20 plus years old. It could be new, but it's designed to be made looking like it's old, right? So some of you guys have probably seen some of the NES minis, the Sega Genesis or Sega minis out there that are like retro consoles that are super cool. So just making some knowledge of that. All right. Vintage and used consoles. This is just a variety and plethora of stuff. Consoles are hard for some people because they are all over the place. Look at all these different items: Atari, Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, Microsoft, VR consoles since they've entered the market back in like 2015, 2016. You got the Oculus, the HTC Vive, and other VR items that I've all bought and sold. It's pretty incredible to be in this space because there's so much opportunity. And then there's new and current consoles, right? Like I love the Nintendo Switch. I don't know if anything gets me more pumped and stoked than getting a sweet Nintendo Switch deal. PlayStation's, the Microsoft Xbox Series X is their newest thing. Although I'm hoping that they come out with a handheld. There's word on the street that they will, which is pretty cool. Switches are solid money, especially with games. I agree with you, Chris. Absolutely. Okay. VR consoles, the MetaQuest 3, the MetaQuest Pro, Valve Index, even ones that fly way under the radar, like the Pimax, the Varjo, and the X-Reel. You heard of any of those? Those are out there and they're pretty darn cool. PC handhelds like the Steam Deck, the Asus ROG Ally, which some people would say debatably in 2024 is the best handheld console in the game. I'm sure some of you passionate gamers out there might say differently. Wesley says, "Me, I need to learn this. I would love to be able to rewatch this at any time. I hear you, Cell Lord. Okay, yes, Chris has got you guys. Okay, so money in consoles. I'm just going to tell you straight up. Anytime you find normal consoles, there's opportunity there. But let me tell you in advance, anytime you find anything that is a distinction of color or limited edition or has an enhanced function of some variety, for example, some Oculus Quest 2s back in the day, I realized that they started coming out with these kind of elite head straps, right? And the elite head strap was more cushiony. Some of them even had battery packs in them. And I go to look this up and I find out these are $60 to $80 aftermarket purchases. And I was like, I wonder if those are worth more money. Guess what? I was right. It was increasing my sales on VR headsets by like $20 to $30 at one point because these items are worth more. And so I'm immediately just kind of going to tell you there are spaces where you could learn to look for more opportunity. This is kind of a special goaded item, but the Atari Heavy Sixer, I bought one of those. Those were made in Sunnyvale, California instead of overseas. They're just super legit. The Nintendo Switch V1, if you don't know the story about it, the low serial numbers are hackable and people love to homebrew those and jailbreak them and use them to load a bunch of emulators and fun games on. So that's just some examples. You could find out if Nintendo Switches are patched or unpatched, meaning hackable or not hackable, just by going to ismyswitchpatched.com and looking up your serial number as long as you have the right model number. And that model number is HAC001. Okay, I'm sharing that with you for free today. Um, some other cool limited edition stuff: Mario, Pokemon games, Zelda games, the goated NCAA football 2014, which I just sold a few weeks ago. But guess what? They're coming out with 2025, so everybody better check themselves because that's going to be sick. And then just like cult classics like Xenoblade, Chrono Trigger. Oh my gosh, these games are so dope. Okay, so when you come across these games that have a devoted fan following, chances are you've found money. And if you don't know that the games that have a devoted fan following, just be the guy that uses eBay as an effective research tool. It's not really difficult. That's honestly what I did. I just took it like and kept running with it. And Chris kind of acknowledged that. He saw that and just said, I think you've got something here that I'm not familiar with. You definitely don't. I'm not sure that I have the knowledge, but I could learn. And I said, hey, I think I can learn some things from you too. And we've kind of been connected for the last 2 years, kind of going at this. But um, I want you to distinctly understand that this is not Chris's thing. This is my thing, and Chris and I are just kind of partners in crime. We're just bros. And so this is Xenoblade Chronicles 2 right here. I sold this guy. This is a great game. Just really dope. All right. And people love it and it maintains its value. Here's a couple other examples. This is a little bit older. I recently sold this item for like, I think 82, no, not more like 70 bucks. But yeah, it's pretty legit selling games like this. And so if you're not familiar with the opportunity within the gaming space, Chris already said it, but I'm going to say it. This is completely untapped. Like there is so much opportunity within the space that I really want you have to understand that I am a dude, and I'm going to take a second to just, be personable. I'm a guy who spent about 20 years working with students in the classroom. I'm a former teacher, and I started side hustling consoles, and I did that for 5 years before actually turned pro doing this. I'm a professional reseller now, but I was just the guy out there grinding, trying to make a couple extra bucks. And guess what? I don't know if you think video games are fun, but I think they're so much freaking fun and they remind me of my childhood. And there's this nostalgic vibes that come with all of them. And so when I come across games like this, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, it just reminds me of things that I took a lot of joy in when I was young. And I like reselling that kind of stuff. And I kind of feel like if you're here on this call, maybe you do too. At least I hope you do. I really do. Um, so here's what I just want you to be aware of as I continue to kind of share these things and add value to this conversation. Um, if the individual game isn't bundled at valued, excuse me, at like 15 to 20 bucks, just bundle it with other like-minded games. A lot of these games, like this is kind of a rare game right here, this AC/DC Rock Band game. But a lot of the games that you might see, I've got a couple over here sitting next to me. Okay. Some of these games right here for PlayStation 3, these are pretty basic games. They're not inherently super valuable, but guess what? If I bundle these together, I can still make a nice little profit on them and I can save something on shipping. And so, whenever you don't know what to do with a bundle of games, then you can just bundle them together, save yourself on the shipping cost. And usually, with 3 to 4 games, you can command anywhere from 20 to 30 bucks. But most of these games like this, in a lot of cases, are worth anywhere from like maybe $7 to $10, maybe like $12 at the most. And so these games aren't, there's not a ton of value. In these games, there is value in some of the one off games like this because it's rare. Okay. But I just want you to kind of be aware and in the know a little bit more so than maybe people that aren't attending this or don't watch this replay. Okay. So our desired return that I'm always shooting for is, I would say, some would say 50% plus ROI, which I think if there's any fellow phone flippers on this call, um, or in the chat, most phone flippers would kill to get 50 plus percent. We typically shoot, or I shoot for about 70 to 100% with each purchase. And as Chris may have explained, last year I did about 78% ROI within my business. All right. So I just kind of break this down for you with the numbers here below. All right. But you should always assume that about 10 to 15% of any sale, especially on a platform like eBay, is probably going to go to shipping and fees. Little hack here: get yourself a subscription and your fees will get reduced to about 9 to 10%, and you'll save 4 to 5% year over year. Now, that may not seem like a lot, but think about that, guys. If you start stacking up them dollar bills, and that starts making a big difference. Okay. So here's some pro moves to get more profits. Ditch the one-off deals and buy bundles. Because when you buy bundles, let's say I were to buy a PS3 with these games, which I did, all right, this PS3 actually came with about 10 games. I've already sold the PS3. I've still got the games to make profit off of. That's smart. Okay. Unless you see something for a super really good low price, don't get overly excited. Like run the numbers and play it carefully. That's how you make profit in this specific niche of reselling. Okay. I'll just give you kind of a quick example. So say, buy the bundles, sell them according to the parts, right? So if you were to buy like a PS4 Pro bundle with a console, headset, controllers, right now, a PS4 Pro is selling right at about $150. After fees, you're going to make about 120. Let's say you sell the controller, a PS4 DualShock wireless controller is going to sell for about $25 a piece. You stand to make about, if you have two of those, all right, this is our bundle right here, headset, console, two controllers, 12 games. We would stand to make about 40 bucks. Okay, we sell the headset at 35, especially if it's like a nicer headset, like a nice Turtle Beach headset. We can make about 25 off that. We can sell two high value games at $20 each and profit about $30 after fees on those. And then finally, we could sell a bundle of games all together, the remaining 10 games, for about 60 bucks. Well, what do we stand to make after that? If our cost is $200, okay, then we stand to profit about 150, which means if we bought this at 200, we just made 75% ROI on this deal. So this is the power of buying gaming bundles, and that's why I'm sharing that with you guys here. Okay, this is just another example where I kind of break this down. Buying this bundle right here, a PS3 Super Slim with two controllers, one game, 40 bucks. That's a real deal that I did. Okay, my profit was $100 and my ROI was 260%. That is fire, and I think it's really difficult to understand how good that is. If you are just the normal kind of casual reseller, and I mean no disrespect or discredit to people who flip clothes, because you can make some really good money off of band tees and stuff like that. But sometimes you get kind of lost in the weeds with that kind of side hustle. And so I really like this because I like making 50 to 100 bucks minimum per flip. Okay. So let me break this down for you. This is what a lot of people see when they buy bundles like this. Okay, I purchased this console with these 5 games for 150 bucks because this is what I have learned to see. And this is what I would love to teach you to see. This is how this deal breaks down. Look at that, $120 for the tablet, 25 each on the Joy-Cons. Those are the controllers. And then this is how much I made on each of these specific games. Really, all really great titles. Nintendo Switch games are the best. I mean, seriously, they are. You make so much good money off of those. All right. And here's another example. Here's a VR kit. It's a Valve Index, right? I think it was right at the beginning. Valve Index for the win, right? I hear that. Jorge says that's more than I make it work. Jorge, I feel that. And for as I was working, I kind of started making more doing this than I was working as well. Here's what some people see. Here's what I have learned to see. That this now, since I think the last time I edited this photo, this item's selling closer to like 300 bucks. That happens. Electronics and items depreciate over time. But the rest of the stuff is still selling for about 120 to 125. So the only difference here in price is maybe like 20 bucks. But I mean, look at this. Look at all of this value. That's one, two, three, four. Oh my gosh, that's 480 bucks plus another 300. That's 700. That's almost $800. Okay. If we could buy this, I don't know, for maybe even six, what would you think? We could buy that for like 400, $450. We could still make some pretty good profit, right? Here's an example. This is a bundle that I bought for $15. This is a PS2 Silver Slim, really cool console, kind of rare, not like super rare, but rare enough. And then just some a pretty rare Wii game, Guitar Hero, just some cool stuff. You can just kind of see the opportunity potential. But all of this is valued at $240. Guys, come on. Spending $15 with $240 profit potential, that is incredible. Okay. And so whenever we are running these kinds of deals, right, there's more than just assessing the value, right? There's negotiating the deal and making the purchase. And I'd like to share a little information about my 3 types of ideal customers: people that are ignorant, indifferent, and desperate. I don't know what I have, but I need cash is the ignorant person. The indifferent person says, I don't care what I have, but I need cash. And the desperate person says, buy this, please. I need cash now. Now, I don't talk about desperate people in a way that would be a guy who tried to take advantage of people, because I don't believe in that. But what I do believe is helping people out when they're in a tight fix. Because have you ever gone to a pawn shop and been appreciative that they could actually give you some cash back for your stuff when you needed cash? That's a service. Okay. And so, in a lot of ways, resellers provide the same service. We are in the business of providing an immediate cash service to people in need. That helps the economy and it helps people. And if you can get on board with that, you can probably get on board with trying to connect with one of these three types of people. But a very important question that I just answered is what is the actual problem resellers solve? And so think of yourself less as a flipper and more as a person who gives people quick access to cash. Okay. Now, how do we stand apart from people whenever they're interested? A lot of people on Facebook like to say, hey, is this item still available? Don't do that. You're just going to sound like white noise. That's ridiculous. Um, you're probably going to get ignored, or worse yet, I don't know, you're going to get in like a swearing match with people. And I'm sure that's happened. Is anyone so tired and so exhausted by, I'm convinced when every time I get on Facebook Marketplace that the world is not left with many intelligent humans. And I don't know if you guys have ever felt that frustration, but I don't know. I'm trying to sell my nephew's dirt bike right now, and oh my gosh, the questions I get and the amount of people that want to trade stuff. Anyways, okay, so back to this. Here's what you should say. And oh, who chimed in here? I hate the stock still available button. Yeah, I feel you, Jason. I really, really do. Totally agree. So, do say this. Hi, my name is, or you say hi, and what's their name? So if I were talking to Jason, say hi, Jason, right? Because if I say Jason as opposed to like dude, bro, or man, or just hi, it's personable, right? I just saw your post. I want to buy this. I'm assuming it's still for sale. Just start there, okay? And that's going to get you like right in the pocket. All right. You can change the default message on your own account. Amazing. I hope you guys saw that little nugget that just added to our conversation because that's gold. Okay. Thanks, brother. Okay, so easy negotiations, right? Once we've kind of got our foot in the door, what do we want to do? We just want to determine price, place, and time. That's the only three things we really have to figure out. So you don't have to do a lot of talking, right? You don't have to be like Mr. Chatty. All you've got to do is secure those answers to those three questions, and bang, next thing you know, you'll have a deal on your hands. Last thing you don't want to do is say, well, deuces, see you later. You want to say, I'm glad we could work out a deal. I'll message you again when I'm headed your way. Second message, in the meantime, would you please mark this item as pending or sold? Right? Lock that item in your favor so that the deal is yours. Guess why? Because you earned it. Okay. Now, once we've done that, we want to test the item. There you go, Chris. Lock it in. Okay. Define what works and what doesn't. And you can do that beforehand and on site. But I suggest you not try to do that after the fact. That is a bad way of doing business. Um, as you buy it, what you really want to have is the convincing evidence that the device works the way it was designed. How did the manufacturers make it? Okay. An Xbox should power on. When I plug this Xbox One X in right here, this light should be bright white. It should be glowing, right? If you don't have confidence when you look on a listing on Facebook or OfferUp or Craigslist or wherever you are, if you don't see that light lit up, then you need to message people to get confidence that that deal is going to work out in your favor. Okay, can I get some photos? Can I get some video? What firmware are you running? Did you know that some PlayStations that have an older firmware are worth hundreds of dollars more? Um, Photos are good, but video is even better. So be smart about it. Okay. Now, if everything goes according to plan, hopefully you don't have any surprises. Okay. When you buy an item like this, make sure that you investigate the condition of the disc. Open it up and look at the disc and make sure it's clean and clear and sharp and crisp. And if it's all smudged and scratched, or if something is cracked, scratched, or broken, or if you grab a console like this and you give it the shake test and you hear something rattling around in there like a 3-year-old dumped Legos in it, guess what? That's probably a problem. And you would want to renegotiate the price. So don't be ridiculous. Okay. Be smart, be really shrewd about how you investigate stuff. And if something's wrong with it, then beat the customer up a little bit over the price, right? Don't like literally beat them, but like give them a hard time about, I'd love to offer more, but sadly, with the HDMI cable, or the HDMI pins not exactly being as they should, I'm not sure this console is going to work the way it's supposed to. So the best I can offer you is, and then you insert your offer. Okay. Shake test does always work, Chris. So unlike phones, you can't test every console on site. Now you can test VR systems on site. A lot of them aren't corded. The Valve Index, the older Oculus devices are corded, but the newer stuff is Bluetooth and wireless, and you can just hold it up to your face, power it on, test your controllers, test the Bluetooth, test the drift. If you don't know what drift is, that's when a controller gets locked off center and it naturally pulls in a direction. Could be any direction, but imagine playing Mario Kart and you're trying to go right, but you've got drift and it keeps pulling your guy left. That's obnoxious and annoying to anyone trying to have a good gaming experience. So those are little things you want to test out. Just don't be shocked when there's surprises, but try to lessen those as much as possible. I think some people, when they start doing this, they get so excited about the opportunity, they're not careful enough to make sure that they're making a good purchase. So I just want you to be smart and not lose any money. Um, Plug the item in if you have to. I once met a chick at a Starbucks and I literally had her bring in the console and I plugged it in to the outlet where I was sitting at our coffee table and determined with that nice bright blue PS4 light that it was working. So it's just super important to have the evidence that the console's working. Because listen, fam, ain't nobody out here trying to get scammed. Nobody wants to get scammed. Okay. And I don't want you to either. Now, once you've done your due diligence and you bought that item, you got to clean it up and photograph it. So these are just some tools of the trade here for y'all. Cleaning wipes, toothbrush, compressed air, cotton swabs, rubbing alcohol. Could also be like nail polish remover. Magic Eraser is my boy, man. Me and the Magic Eraser have been on many an adventure, and we have helped to brighten a lot of people's day by cleaning up some consoles and making some stuff look extra sharp. So if you don't know the joy of the Magic Eraser, it really is kind of magical. Just be careful. If you get too carried away, it does actually remove paint, sometimes chemically. So you just got to be careful to not overdo it with the Magic Eraser because sometimes it's a little too magic. You've been warned. Retro Bright, if I were to click on this, you would see that this is a recipe for Retro Bright where you can take vintage plastics and you can actually have them. There's a mixture of these things. You can take vintage plastics like old school NES consoles that have yellowed, looking all kind of like nicotine yellow, and make them beautiful and bright. And so just sharing that with you because I got love for you guys, you know? All right, let me get back to my presentation. Okay. There we go. Now, there's a couple questions up here. So give me a second while I did that with the truck with the Magic Racer. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. Magic Racer is like super fine sandpaper, treated accordingly. Sean, noted. Thank you, bro. That's a really good tip. These are some other tools of the trade, okay, that I've kind of procured. When you're taking photos after you've cleaned your stuff up, and I will say this, it's also kind of helpful sometimes to maybe have like a can of compressed air, get some of that dust out, because people sometimes leave consoles sitting on the ground or in the carpet. Or I once bought one that was literally sitting in someone's garage for like 2 years and it was filthy. Was very glad to have both a vacuum nozzle as well as some compressed air. Good lighting, good angles, shoot it from all sides, like take striking photos. Okay. Try to use a lighter colored background because it's going to make it look more expensive and sophisticated. Think about how awesome things look when you walk into the Apple store, right? That it looks premium or expensive. Like think like in those terms. Okay. Be like Apple. All right. And I would also say like take a good cover photo. Your cover photo for a listing like on eBay or Mercari or wherever you're selling should maybe even Swappa should about say as much about the item as it possibly can. So if you're selling like a console with a controller with like a couple cables and like a game, put all of that in the first photo. That way when I visually come up on your listing, guess what? I don't have to ask any questions because I know exactly what is being listed. I know exactly what I'm buying. Okay. Um, Angel says, could you show the last slide of other tools? Angela. Yeah, for sure. So here's some other tools. I don't know if you know what Scotty peelers are. Okay. This is a Scotty peeler right here. It's just a little guy, like for removing stickers. Goo Gone, Goof Off, vacuum nozzle, nail polish remover, fine hand towel or a microfiber towel. These are really helpful. You're welcome. All right. So yeah, those are just some helpful tips about getting stuff sold. Shoot it like you're a pro or like you're trying to sell it. Use your iPhone, clean background, single color backdrop or light box, and an 8 to 12-inch ring light. Okay. I'm using ring lights right now to illuminate my face. I apologize if I'm blinding anybody. I am a white boy, and that is genetically my parents' fault. But yeah, ring lights are really great, especially for illuminating consoles and stuff. Some bad photos. Look at this photo. Dog water. This is garbage. This is so bad. It's congested. I don't know what's up. Like this is something that was listed on eBay. Like literally, you can see that because I ripped it off of eBay. But I saw this listing and I was like, no one's I don't want to buy this because I feel like this person feels unclean. That's the vibe that it emanates, right? Don't be this guy. Don't do that. You're better than that. Humanity is better than that. Okay. Do you guys bag the consoles? I've heard of potential cockroach. Yeah. Okay. So in 5 years, I've only had two consoles that had bugs in them. Okay. Only two. And usually the consoles get so hot that the bugs die, but I've never really had like a roach infestation in my house because I'll spray and clean that stuff off outside or in a space that's like really clean. So if there's anything gross that flies out of there, like we're straight, we're good. I like to clean stuff out. Sometimes I used to do it in my garage. I don't have a garage anymore. I have a carport, but yeah, that can be really helpful. So if you think something's nasty, just take it outside and clean it out there. That's my advice. Okay. Air dust before arriving home. Yeah, thanks. All right. You're welcome, Grant. Jason says, we fix consoles. Roaches love heat. I've seen some nasty ones, easy to spot. Jason, no kidding. Yeah, I've seen some gross ones too. Okay. Bad photos, guys, they look like this. Okay. This is gross. Unclean, poor lighting, cluttered arrangement. Okay. Again, pretty clean space, but the lighting on this is boo boo. Okay. It's awful. So good photos sell the product. They inspire buyer confidence and they build trust to make you want to make the purchase right now. Okay. Um, he says we fix consoles. Use XXL laundry bags from Dollar Tree. I love all of the tips that are going on in the chat here. That's fantastic. Okay. These are some of my photos. These are some Valve Index Base Station 2.0s. Okay. For just high-end VR systems. This is a Nintendo Switch. Just notice you see everything there. This is the front photo. Boom. There it is. It's all there. It's clean. It's well lit. It's tidy, and it sells. It just does. Okay. Here's a Nintendo Switch powered on so that you can see how it's functioning. Here's an Oculus Rift S headset that I sold. Okay. Um, yeah, Casey, appreciate that. Lots of knowledge going around for sure, both in the chat and hopefully here on the call. Okay. So again, sell the product, inspire buyer confidence, and use your listings and images to build trust and help them to make that purchase right now. The more you can reduce that drag between do I trust this person? The more you can reduce that drag, the sooner they're probably going to pull the trigger and open their wallet. And in my opinion, one of the greatest compliments people can pay you as an entrepreneur or reseller or even a side hustler is to open up their wallet and say, I trust you so much. Here's my money in exchange for the item you have for sale. I look at that as like a really great mark of trust and good business. So I hope you see that too. Um, yeah. How do you take such good pictures? So I use a light box. It's just a light box that I bought on Amazon. You could literally just Google it, light box, and then I just take photos with my phone, man. Like, now honestly, these photos right here, I have an iPhone 15 now. I've only had this for like 6 months. I took these photos with my iPhone 20s, right? So remember like the 2020, right? It still had like the thumbprint and everything. Yeah. So for what it's worth, that's you don't need the best phone to take good photos. Good lighting makes a massive difference. And here's one more tip: whenever you guys take a photo with your phone, this is my crazy crew. They pranked me by putting their faces on my phone. Turn the brightness all the way up when you take your photos. That way, you can get a good feel for like what looks clean and what doesn't. So hopefully that helps you as well. Okay. Here's a couple more tools of the trade: ring box or light box. The camera on your phone. Psh, that's all you need, man. Okay. White background, a bonus. For the longest time, for like 2.5 years, I literally hung a light gray bed sheet in the corner of my office or resale space, and I draped it over an old coffee table. Only after reselling for almost 3 years did I actually break down and buy a light box. So whoever said, how do you take such good photos? It hasn't always been that way. Okay. All right. So getting items listed. These are just a couple of various places. If you don't know how to list things where you could sell your stuff on eBay, which is the majority of what I do. Mercari, I've made business there and sold items as well. Swappa, pretty common. Their fees used to be lower. Sadly, they're kind of about the same as eBay now. And then I've got some connects with some direct buyers as well. And so direct buyers really are only interested in buying brand new inbox items. That means sealed, like stickers still on the box, sealed PS5s, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switches, newer items that are still in the box, factory sealed and brand new. Okay. So do your research and find out what suits you best. But these are just a couple cross posting platforms in case you're ever interested or really short on time. I have used Vendoo a little bit, but I don't necessarily use these a ton because I don't really need to as much as I thought I did. Okay. Finally, when it comes to selling it, you just want to close the deal. Okay. Now, the eBay algorithm, Cassini, it has a name, does show preferential treatment to people who are quick to respond and interested. So, a lot of people, when they buy consoles, they expect them to sell like within 12 minutes. And that's just not the case. I would say on average, most consoles that I have sell within 3 to 7 days. Okay, 3 to 7 days, which if you think about it, there's a lot of stuff on eBay and a lot of other resellers you've probably seen that actually sell stuff a lot slower. Like people will have like 800 listings and items are selling every like 3 to 4 weeks. That is not how I roll. If that's how you roll, I mean, respect to you, but I really want a faster sale. Consoles next to phones, I'd say phones sell faster than anything. Like I think the eBay stat is like every like 2 to 5 seconds. It's something ridiculous like that. But the last statistic I saw for consoles, I think was like one every 1.5 to 2 minutes. And so that is pretty fantastic. A phone sells every 4 seconds, says Chris. Yeah, so I don't think consoles are going to beat that, but I also don't think that phones are going to beat console ROI or return on investment. So um, if your item isn't selling, just remember this: it's typically priced too high. That's it. I mean, I'd say 9.9 times out of 10, it's usually because the price isn't quite right. Okay. Um, Wesley said, I used to sell clothes. He said, slow. Yeah, I recently bought a West Coast Choppers hoodie at a garage sale, and I'm going to sell that in the fall when it gets cool again. And I'm excited, but also, like, I know I'm probably going to be sitting on it for like 2 months till it finds the right buyer, right? Oh, thanks, Chris. I'm also glad we both wore black shirts today. I'm glad you got the memo. Okay, yeah, 7 to 10 days is for real. I agree with you, Wesley. All right, so let's keep cruising. Helpful tips when you need to move product. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of give you these added insights. Promote your item at 2%. It used to be 1%. eBay bumped it up to 2. I guess the man loves his money, and who could blame him? They are a business. Reduce the price by $1 a day till it sells. That's a pretty good move. You could cross post your listing onto another marketplace like Mercari or Swappa, or put it back on Facebook if that's where you got it, or sell to a direct buyer if it's new. You could try and sell it locally, like I just said. Trade for something that might sell faster. I once picked up a brand new Xbox Series X from Best Buy. Guy hit me up 2 days later, said he had a laptop. He was dropping out of coding school and just wanted to game. And I was like, cool. He's like, I'm driving a truck now, and that's all I want to do. And so he said, let's trade up. And he traded me a $1,200 laptop for the $500 console I had just purchased. And I made a really nice bundle off of that deal. So a trade up can be really worth your time sometimes. Okay. Chris says the trade up game is a good strategy. The brother don't lie. That is a very good strategy. Okay. And then you could also kind of look at like trade in value, because GameStop is a really great place to go sometimes to see, okay, like what's GameStop offering? Okay. That's what they're offering in my area. Cool. All right. Maybe I could flip this item. Like I could take this item and get store credit, or I could get cash from them. Or you know what? Better yet, wonder if I could just beat their prices by a little bit and, make myself some money. So these are like really kind of cool ways you can make some extra cash. Okay. Ship it. The only really question that people need to ask themselves when they're shipping something is, can the item you're shipping survive a 5 foot drop from a shipping truck? And if you go like suck your teeth or like go, right, if you had to think about it, you already know your answer, right? So insulate the bottom of the box is what I'm saying, y'all. Come on. Esterland.com is good for trade-ins. They pay 30% more than GameStop. Casey, that is fire. Thank you. All right. Everybody see that right there in the chat? If not, you need to check that out. estarland.com. That's E like star in the sky and the word land.com. Fantastic. Okay. Um, so much value. That's brilliant. Okay, so here's some tools of the trade when it comes to shipping. Bubble wrap, the small kind, is 3/16. I really kind of want the metric system right here. Half-inch bubble wrap, packing paper, packing peanuts, styrofoam insulation board, air pillows, poly bags. Poly bags are just little plastic bags that look like Ziplocs, but they have like a seal edge. Okay, so like that's what a poly bag is. In fact, if I click on this link right here, you'll see what poly bags are. These are poly bags, right? I'd say a little more common for some people with Amazon than eBay, but still, very valuable, helpful. Okay. Um, let's go back. Uh, Packing tape. I use both clear and paper colored because sometimes I just like to cover up the Amazon stickers or tape with just basic like cardboard colored tape. Box cutter, 36-inch ruler or measuring tape if you need to break the box down and reduce its size to save on shipping, which I also do sometimes. Okay. Um, Angela says, you buy all these on Amazon? Yes and no. I don't spend a lot of money on shipping supplies because a lot of my shipping supplies I just end up looking online and trying to find for free. Okay. So that's what I'm about to tell you. Never pay for shipping supplies when you can get most of it online for free. Have you checked Marketplace? Have you checked Craigslist? I bet somebody's trying to get rid of some packing supplies if you look closely. Okay. So, yeah, just take that into consideration. Like these are some deals, free shipping supplies I found on Facebook Marketplace. Like, how easy is that? Come on, right? You're welcome. Okay. Hopefully that was worth the whole chat anyway. Okay. Now, finally, we want to review it. Once your item shows is delivered, just send a message to your buyer to increase their feedback rating on eBay. Hi, so and so. This is just a quick follow up on the order I made. Thanking you for your business and appreciation. I've left you a positive review to boost your reputation as a buyer. If you feel like this transaction met or exceeded your expectations, would you take a moment to also provide some positive feedback? It would be greatly appreciated. Best regards. Boom. Drop your name and your business store name if you have a business store on eBay. Bada bing, bada boom. About 20% of people will get back to you and leave you reviews. That's what I've experienced over the past 5 years. Not everybody, but somebody. So if one out of every five comes back and leaves you a review, then you're stacking up those reviews faster than the next person. Okay? That's it, guys. That's all I got for you. Now you can go make some money. Okay. No, in all sincerity, that is the end of my presentation, and we hustled through that in 40 minutes flat, which I'm actually pretty happy with because I don't really want to keep you guys on a super long webinar. But I do want to tell you guys what I actually have made available that will take this even further to the next level. Okay. Um, Chris and I are in collaboration, but again, this is my course that you guys are looking at right here. This is called Console Kings. And Console Kings is what I've just done with you, except an even deeper dive. It is a personalized, customized deep dive into how to buy and resell consoles, VR systems, and video games, just like we were discussing, but like dialed up to like 10. Okay. It is everything, all the information and experience and action steps that I have secured from my reselling and having sold, over six figures on eBay myself, predominantly from consoles. It's everything that I've procured in my brain over the last 5 years that I am now sharing with the world. And so you can see we have some members already. We've got a couple online already. But within this, I just want to show you guys this a little bit. Okay. I want to show you exactly what is available here. And I'm also trying to stay up in on the chat. Okay. Chris just dropped the link if you guys want to check it out. But it is in school, which is a great platform for education and teaching, owned and started by the one and only Alex Hormozy. The man knows what's up and what he's doing. Okay, so this is our classroom, Console Kings. And you can see right here, this is the module 2. This is module number 1. Let me just show you this just for a moment. Indulge me for a second, okay? Hang with me for a few more minutes here on this call, okay? If you were to sit in the chair behind me and look over my shoulder, I've essentially tried to craft an experience in precisely that way. What would it look like if I were sitting next to my nephew? His name's Malachi. He's a great kid. He's like, hey, I want to learn to buy and resell. And I was like, all right, cool. Maybe I could show you some things. But if you were sitting next to me like he was, what could I show you? What could I teach you? Okay. So we essentially just what we just discussed, it's that and more. And so as I walk you guys through this, I will show you the two most super critical things that are going to make you a ton of profits. Okay. Here's the two most important methods to be profitable that I share with everybody. Okay. And I break these down piece by piece. Okay. Here's rule number 1. All right. Here is, rule number 2 right here. Okay. And then I give everybody in my course a set of console family price sheets. What does that mean? Well, let me show you real fast. This is the Console King console family price sheets. What have I done with these price sheets? I've I go on eBay on a monthly basis, I do my research, and I bring that price structure back to these console family price sheets so that if you are a reseller or somebody who's buying and sourcing or interested in trying to resell video game consoles like this, like the Oculus console family, you can just see right here, like I have these items broken down. Here's the current resale value of a MetaQuest 3. Here's the current suggested buy price. Here's the current resale value of a MetaQuest Pro. Here's the current suggested buy price. I do that time and time and time and time again, not just with the Oculus console family, but with PlayStations, Nintendo Switch, HTC Vive and Valve Index, HP and Samsung VR, Xbox consoles, vintage consoles, handheld gaming consoles, and PC styled handheld consoles like the Valve Steam Deck and the Asus ROG Ally. This is absolute gold, and it has taken a savage effort to try to produce these console family price sheets. For the people that are my students and know how these work, this saves you a crap ton of time, like years of time, years. Okay, and yeah, it's pure gold. It's like it's insanely valuable. It's unreal. So I'm showing that with you guys because that's probably the like shining gem and beacon of like the entirety of this. Okay, let me go back to the course here real quick, and we'll kind of wrap this up. But where was I? Oh, let's go back to school. Okay, so as you guys get introduced to the console family price sheets, what I've done with the course is I've literally broken it down to where it walks lockstep through each of the listings. Okay. So, like, if you were going through the Xbox console family, you could literally click here and you would hear me give you a brief overview about it. Okay. And then you scroll down and you want to learn how to source Xbox Series X. I literally do that in a video. And by the way, the video is not like 12 to 20 minutes, it's 4 minutes long. Okay. You want to learn how to buy and resell Xbox Series S, 1X, and 1S? Jump here. It's a 5 minute video that tells you how to buy and resell three of these. Okay. I'm literally like showing you exactly how to do this and how I do this. Like there's no fluff. All right. It's just straight to it. Okay. You will learn how to source older vintage Xbox consoles. And so the whole first module is literally that. And it might seem overwhelming that there's 55 videos, but if you don't want to click on a link, you don't have to. If you're like, all right, today I'm going to look for sourcing Valve Index deals. Okay, cool. Watch my video on sourcing Valve indexes. It'll take you all less than 5 minutes, and bang, you just do it. Right now, you have the skill set. Now, in 5 minutes, you've learned how to do this. You have access to the price sheets, and you're just right into it. Like it literally cuts through all the crud, all the learning curve. I've worked very hard to secure this information over the course of years. And I'm sure that there may be some other people out there who have this knowledge in their mind, but I'm stoked to have this opportunity to share it with you guys because this is something that I know how much this method, approach, and skill set has given to me and my family. And, you know, I love the opportunity to connect with some of you guys and give that back to you. So, Chris, I think that is my jumping off point. I'll say this as well. Um, I'm releasing the other module 3 unlocks in about a week, but module 2, I talk you through my negotiations and how to test consoles. The rest of this honestly is actually quite short. The bulk of it is assessing the value and knowing where the opportunity and money is. I even talk to you specifically about the value, the distinct value, and how to really make good money off of Nintendo Switch flips and Nintendo Switch games, because that is a very, very tricky feat. But I got you guys. I got you guys. I got you. Okay. So just sharing that with all of you, and really, really, really excited for the opportunity that lies ahead. So yeah, hope you guys are as pumped as I am.
Let's go. All right. What do you guys think so far? So obviously, I'm going to be running the community behind Console Kings. Matt will be obviously the coach, but I want to go over a little bit more in depth on what he didn't go over. But he did go over a massive amount of value that is included. So this is something that's been in the works for a long time, guys. Like I've been asking Matt to do this forever, like going on 2 years since he joined the team. So
That's true.
yeah, I mean it's been a while. So I'm gonna drop the link in the chat for you guys again. You guys can check it out. This is the about page. You guys will be able to check it out at. So this is a paid course. I'm just going to be real with that. There's so much knowledge and value in this that there's no way we could give it away for free. Recelerator students paid a ridiculous amount of money to get access to Matt and the same level of information. And they have gone on to make a crazy amount of money flipping consoles outside of phones. So a couple of things that I want to go over on this real quick is so you can make a full-time income working part-time hours. You know, you can learn, you can flip, you can profit, and you can have fun. And this course is designed to help you guys get to $3,000 to $4,000 a month flipping game consoles. That's what it's designed to do. And honestly, that's just a baseline. I'm actually setting the bar kind of low on that. I'll just be real.
Yeah.
It goes over the entire thing that you guys just learned here. The entire thing. We got tons of testimonials to back all of this up. You guys can see some of those here. We got, this was, I can't remember who that was. There's Oscar over here with 31,000 in sales, somebody with 10,000, Moss with his just floor covered in VR headsets, and more, right? So what do you get? Like, what do you get when you join Console Kings? Let's go over that really quick. So what you get when you join. So the first thing you get is a one-on-one 15-minute onboarding call with Matt. Like, he's literally going to pick up the phone and he's going to call you. Like, and he's going to say, hey, how you doing? And he's going to ask you a few questions. He's going to help you out, right? And that's, yeah. You're going to get the Console Kings curriculum, which is what Matt just went over. You're going to get the console family price sheets, which I'll just tell you guys, like, that's probably the most valuable thing in the entire thing. Like, we got a couple of Recelerator students that are in the chat right now. Guys, can you let everybody know how valuable those console family price sheets are for you? Because they are massively valuable. Like, knowing what to pay and then exactly what it's going to sell for and have that happen time and time and time again is incredibly valuable. All right. You're going to get the reach out checklist, which is valuable all within itself. And then on top of that, guys, you guys are going to get a weekly game console sourcing class. What is this? So we had this today, and this is the Recelerator. This is our high-end mentorship program call that we do once a week specifically for game consoles. And Matt literally hops on with all the students every single week, sources zip codes, helps people make money. I think, didn't you help Jaime? Isn't Jaime on this call? Didn't Jaime find a Valve Index thanks to one of those, or did he find that by himself? I can't remember.
Yeah, no, he found 2 in the last 3 weeks.
Okay, yeah. So he made a stupid amount of money. Okay. And then you're going to get negotiation templates and more. Like, there's a lot of stuff in this course, guys. A couple of things that I do want to go over as well is whenever you join this, you'll obviously get access to the classroom, which is where the course is held. But another big thing that we're going to be building out, and this is going to be mostly built by you guys, is the community aspect of this thing. So a lot of you guys are in Facebook groups, which is great. I run a lot of Facebook groups, but we are moving a little bit more over to school just because it has the community, it has the course, and it has the calendar on top of that. So you guys can see here, the weekly console class is every single week on Tuesday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, and there will be replays. Yeah, because I know you guys are going to ask. So, yeah, that's how this works.
To interject for those of you that are on the call, I know there's a couple students here and friends that have jumped in those Tuesday console calls, but we jump into your zip code. It could be a big town, it could be a small town. I'll be honest with you guys, I've literally sourced probably every zip code, like from east to west and like through all the flyover states, as people might call them. We found deals in areas that a lot of people wouldn't think you could find deals in because we know what to look for. And that's exactly what I do is I specialize in helping you to understand, even if you live in a smaller area, here's the value, right? Sometimes you have to expand the radius a little bit and search a little broader because the demographic isn't as dense, but we still find a lot of great opportunities and we still have profitable students because they're diligent and they're looking for opportunities because they know where to look.
Yep. So, and then the last thing, guys, because I don't know if you guys have seen the price yet, but I do want to go over that. So the price to join this community is $47 a month. Now, I do want to also mention something. Matt and I have entered the school games. So the school games is something that we have entered, and we plan on winning. So that's kind of the plan. We want to, we want to be able to fly out to Vegas, get direct help from Hormozy himself, and grow this thing and help our clients and students even more. And that's kind of our goal. So we've joined the school games. So right now, you can get the Console Kings course, curriculum, everything for $47 a month. That will change, just so you guys are aware. It will change to $97 a month. Why is it going to change to that? Because this stuff is so valuable that you can flip one console a month and make all of your money back.
That is
That quick,
incredibly
like,
true. Incredibly
so
true.
that's the game, right? So if you join within the next week, by the way, that ends Sunday night, and it will be changed to $97 a month, and then the group will become public. Okay, so that means that everybody will be able to join, and that will be the price moving forward is just $97 a month. This is Matt's course. This is not quote unquote affiliated with me. I'm just helping out with it because we've been working together for a long time, and that's kind of the way this stuff works. You help friends.
Yeah, it is.
You push friends to make a course that can help a lot of people. So,
Facts. Yeah. So, for those of you that are still here, there are 33 of you still in the chat. Listen to me. You're probably in a situation maybe similar to I was, but if you're a side hustler, if you're, working a job, just looking to pick up some extra cash, that's cool. If you want to transition more into full-time flipping, that's cool. If you just kind of want to, you're in limbo somewhere and you're still figuring that out, that's cool too. The thing I love about consoles is I haven't found a better item in the realm of electronics that produces a better ROI than video games, VR systems, and video game consoles. And so, $47 a month, I could flip that with some of the lamest console finds that we could discover on Facebook Marketplace. Like I could literally sit with you on a call right now. We could probably like find 5 to 10 deals in your zip code within a matter of like 5 to 10 minutes.
let's do
So
it.
let's do it. Yeah, let's
Drop a
find
zip
some
code.
deals.
Let's drop a zip
All right.
code. Show you guys the proof in the pudding right now. Like somebody dropped their. There we go, Wesley. Let's rock and roll. Let's go to Miami.
All right, let's spice this up. Jason, I got you. Holy smokes.
Oh,
All right,
gosh. All right, we're gonna do like two. We can't do everybody.
All right, we'll start. We got Wesley and Jason. It's like everyone's like, oh my gosh. Okay.
Go ahead, share
let's
your
go
screen.
here.
Spit the fire.
Yep. All right, guys, let me minimize this. I got too many windows up, so apologies to you, fam. Where we go. All right, let's go over to Facebook. Okay, guys, we're going to jump over to 33130. It's Miami. Let's go. All right. Miami's a pretty dense area, so we're going to keep this limited to 20 miles. Okay. And let's see. Right off top, here's an Oculus Quest 2. This person's asking $50.
Oh my gosh.
we can make that on the headset, literally. Okay, these two controllers.
One controller.
We can get $60 for both of these controllers and $50 for the headsets. So let's talk about it. We got $170 right here. There's $120 in this deal, guys, and we've been on this page for 10 seconds. Are you freaking kidding me? Like,
there's one.
Yeah, sold. Thanks. All right, cool. So, sorry, I gotta do my due diligence here and say, I gotta send this to Wesley. Hold up. All right. All right, there we go, Wesley. There's your deal. All right, this is a Oculus Quest 2. This guy's asking $50. I'm going to say buy for 40. If he's going to devalue it that much, buy for 40 to $50. Okay, and there you go. Okay, and I'm going to say resells for 170. You see that? Blam! My man's going to triple his money on that deal. Let's find Wesley one more quick deal. All right, here's a Nintendo GameCube. These are worth about $75, so we don't want to run into that. deal right there. Um, here's a PlayStation, a PS3 Fat with 80 gig. Some of these are actually the older ones are reverse compatible. So if you're not familiar with a reverse compatible PS3, that's something that I would introduce you to. Okay, but those make a nice bundle, man. I'm telling you. I probably wouldn't buy this for $100, but let's just do this real quick. Let's go with let's just type in VR. Okay, we just found one VR deal. Let's find another one real fast. Um, let's see what we got.
I've been having a good amount of success just typing in Quest into the
Yeah,
search results.
I like this deal too. Okay,
Oh,
this is a
that's
Medicus
neat.
3. Okay. If we can get this deal for around the $300 range, Wesley would stand to make a pretty nice little bundle of profit off of that. So Wesley, I'm going to share that deal with you too. Okay,
128 in profit right there.
MetaQuest 3, easy. All right, this guy's
I just
asking
made money off of one that I bought for 300.
50. We're going to offer, I'm going to say 275.
Nice, Catherine. That's solid. That is,
300.
make sure to sell the controller separately. You'll make a lot more.
Good for you, Catherine. I love hearing about other people's success. That stuff gets me pumped. All right. I got to come back up to all these zip codes. You guys blasted me. Holy smokes. Jason Hanna, 37055. All right, I got you, dog. Okay. Let's do one more little run. 37055. Dixon, Tennessee. Right on. All right. I'm gonna bump this up to 40 miles. Okay. Will you look up Knoxville, Tennessee, 37912? Maybe. Got a jet, but I'll be signing up. Thanks so much, guys. Let me know if there's a replay. Appreciate you, Catherine. That's awesome. Okay. Let's go over to Dixon, Tennessee and see what we got cracking here. Here's an Oculus VR. Just a lot of Oculus stuff. Of course, that is what we're looking for. Here's a Pimax for $1,000, but there's two of them. Okay, I'm not going to get caught in the weeds, but gosh, that I love stuff like that. That looks like a really attractive deal. Okay, let's go over to Marketplace. All right, and let's see what we got. Okay, so this Xbox One S with this controller right here, I literally sold one of these with the controller in one game for $150 like 3.5 weeks ago. Okay. So I'm going to send that deal over to Jason. If you can secure this deal for $50, you've got a $25 controller and you've got $100 to $110 console, right? So you've literally got about $130 just sitting on the table here. Score that for $50 and like you're set. Okay. So I'm going to tag you in that. Jason, there's your deal. Okay, Xbox One S with controller. This guy's asking 90. Let's offer 50. All right. And I'm going to say it resells for one, I'm going to say 125 to 150. Sorry, I said 1500, but meant to say 150. All right. Let's do one more deal for Jason. And then I'm probably going to have to call it, guys. Um, see, there's an Oculus. That's pretty good. It's a Game Boy Advance. This is only about a $60 item right here. So we don't want to get caught in the weeds of that deal. But that looks pretty cool. I'll tell you what, let's do this. Let's go over to OfferUp. Just so you guys know, this is not a gimmick. Okay. And let's look up the same zip
Boom,
code.
$100 right there for an Oculus Quest. Whatever the
Yeah,
rest.
it's in what, Melbourne, Florida, 37055. Here we go.
Oh, never mind.
37055. Local. I never really do shipping on any of these platforms, FYI, guys. And since you're not too far from Nashville, we're gonna tweak that a little bit. Okay. Now, here's what's pretty cool. This is in Clarksville, Tennessee. I don't see a ton of these. This item's way overpriced, but you guys know this headset alone right here sells for about $700 to $900. Just the headset. That's pretty incredible. That's something you learn when we ball out. Okay. Um, let's look and see what else we got here. I'm just looking on OfferUp, guys, for any potential deals. So give me a sec here.
Here you go. There's a nice
What you
one
see, Chris?
Oculus Quest right there. The crazy thing about the Oculus Quest is you can get it for $80 to $100.
That's true. Yeah.
Like I usually pick up one like once a day. Wild. if anybody's watched my YouTube live streams, you guys have seen me doing it.
All right, I'm gonna go back over to Facebook. Whew. All right, cool. Um, Not bad. Let's look at this deal. Ooh. Oh, that's in Melbourne, Florida. I'm sorry. It switched on me. See how it went back to another location? Let's go back to Tennessee. Sorry about that, brother. There we go. Okay, cool. This deal, pretty good right here. Got Pokemon, Mario, and Mario with a Nintendo Switch console. Okay. Plus the charging dock, plus like a few more games. Yeah, this is money. This is money, Jason. Okay. I would make an offer on this for 150 to 175. Okay. You're going to make about 30, 35, and another 30 on these games. So it's close to $100 with those three games right there. And then with these games, about the same 30, 30, and another 30. So that's what? Close to 190 bucks on all three of those games. Okay. Think about that. That tablet alone is worth $120. This is a nice, I'd say roughly double your money Switch bundle. Okay. So I'm gonna post this right here. All right. Nintendo Switch bundle. This guy's asking 265, 225. Okay, and we're gonna offer 150 to 175. All right, and the resale value on that resells for 350 plus. Bang. That's a deal right there. I'm telling you. Okay. So there's a couple quick deals. I appreciate all of you being so responsive with your zip codes. It's just time permitting. I'm not able to like source everybody's zip code, but hopefully that gives you guys just a very quick perspective of what's possible. Just looking for a few minutes on Marketplace or OfferUp. So I hope you find that helpful and valuable, guys.
You want that to happen every week, or get it, try work on getting a spot on that weekly. Matt does do these weekly in the weekly call, like literally
For sure.
sources zip codes every single week for our students. It's his class. It's what he does. With that being said, guys, I'll drop the link one more time for you guys. There will be a replay email sent out. Looking forward to Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, and there are also replays as well. You guys getting deals every day? Yes, there are literally deals that pop up. So the vast amount of devices that Matt showed you guys, it's literally impossible to not get deals. It's crazy. I literally every single morning I will source mostly the Quest 2 and Quest 3 and Valve Index. And I will usually find an item every single morning without fail. It's wild. And most of the time it's usually like one or two items. And Matt, this probably happens to you too all the time. But like it's usually like an Oculus that's listed for like $50 to $75. And like without fail, it's almost every single morning. And that's like a quick $70 in profit. It's like it's free money. Yeah. It's crazy like how much money is in the marketplace.
Yeah, the Cell Lord asked, "Are you guys getting deals every day?" Well, yeah. I'm so thoroughly convinced of this method and what this does to just bring in steady, consistent income. Like, what's the power of increasing your income by just $50 to $100 extra a day? Deals like that are almost no brainers. I mean, I call them blades of grass. Like we jump online and the deals are just out there like blades of grass. I mean, it's pretty abundant, and I feel like this space is still really untapped, and that's why we're breaking into this specific sub niche. And would love to rock and roll with you guys if anybody wants to team up.
Cool. Just a reminder, click on that link, guys, if you guys want to join. It will be $47 to join until Sunday night at 12 a.m. and that's when it will go up. I hope this space never gets saturated. I mean, there's a lot of devices, honestly, like that you can buy. Like, so I think it would be pretty difficult to actually saturate it. Yeah, guys. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. There's a lot more deals than there are there's a lot more deals for this mostly than there are for phones, right? Now the good thing about phones is everybody has one, right? So, but did you guys know that over 200 million Nintendo Switches were sold in the United States alone. That means 2 out of 3 people own a Nintendo Switch. 2 out of 3 in the United States. Wild. So there's a lot of money just literally sitting there daily for you guys. Anyway, so just a quick recap before it looks like Matt's got to go. So I'm going to quick recap for you guys real fast. So you click, here's the About page. You click sign up, you pay the fee, you do the thing. You get access to all of that good stuff. You get the one-on-one onboarding call. You'll be messaged whenever you join. You get the curriculum, you get the price sheets, which are by far the most valuable thing. The reach out checklist, the weekly console class, and the negotiation templates, and so much more. And then you become a console king. So let's go, Kings.
Let's do it.
Little play on word there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See you guys in there. This recording will go out in emails and stuff here in probably an hour. So see you guys later. Have a great day. Keep crushing. Talk to you guys later.